السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء، تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووسم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم، كما قال عز شأنه: كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت. وقال: كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنام سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولمن صبر وغفر إن ذلك لمن عزم الأمور. صلوات. We are going to, inshallah, conclude in these two sessions of Khutbah Juma our discussion that we continued for a long time. And inshallah in Ramadan we'll have a different topic, and after Ramadan we'll continue this again. But this topic, this particular subject from Risalat al-Huquq, حق من ساءك, the right of the person who wrongs you. So we discussed so many points and many aspects of this issue. And of course, nobody can give the right of any subject. Nobody can really claim that he has perfectly covered all aspects of any topic. The same thing here. Of course, we tried our best to cover as many points as we can. So let's read the passage and go through the passage for conclusion today, and inshallah 2 more weeks, and then we'll conclude it. وأما حق من ساءك القضاء على يديه بقول أو فعل. So the right of the person who wrongs you, what is the right? Somebody who does something wrong, بقول أو فعل, with his verbally or practically he has done something against you. فإن كان تعمدها كان العفو أولى بك. If he has done it purposely, either he has done it purposely or by mistake. If it is purposely, he hurt your feelings purposely, then al-afu awla. It's better to forgive him. It's still better to forgive him. And in the end, inshallah, we'll come there when Imam says, okay, if he did it forgetfully, mistakenly, then Imam says that no way, you have to forgive him. In first situation, is not must to forgive, but is better to forgive. Awla. Because he did it purposely. So it's better to forgive him. But why it is better to forgive him? Imam says, لِمَا فِيهِ لَهُ مِنَ الْقَمْعِ. Because forgiving in such a situation when somebody is showing his animosity against you and wronging you and oppressing you, if just you forgive him, and remember, I don't need to repeat everything that we discussed. It is about you, one person. It's not oppressing other people. Oppressing other people, you have no right to forgive. We have discussed that. It is about ourselves, means individually somebody is wronging me. So Imam says, if this person is wronging me purposely, it's better to forgive him. Why? Because this is going to eliminate the animosity. Eliminate. No, it is going to eradicate the roots of the animosity, which is, of course, in the end, going to benefit you. Because, continuing with animosity with anybody has no benefit to anyone. So it's better to eliminate that animosity. وَحُسْنَ الْأَدَبِ مَعَ كَثِيرِ أَمْثَالِهِ. And first of all, it is a cause for elimination of such hatred. The second thing is husnul adab. It is one of good manners of human being, good etiquettes, good ethics, right, and good values, that a person be forgiving always. Let somebody is doing wrong with me, ignore it. It's fine. Let him do it. Unless it's going to cause some bigger damage, then you have to stop. And where to stop, we discuss all those issues. So we aren't going to conclude it as a general discussion. So Imam says husnul adab. This is a demonstration of good manners from yourself, that you just forgive. And of course, when Imam says that A'imma alayhimus salam, our leaders, our infallible leaders and guides, they have demonstrated what they have said. Before they say it, they showed us how really somebody can practice these instructions. So A'imma alayhimus salam have already demonstrated those high values of morality and ethics. Then Imam says, مَعَ كَثِيرٍ مِّنْ أَمْثَالِهِ. Most of the people deserve your forgiveness. He didn't say everybody. Because we discuss who does not deserve. We discuss many of those aspects. So, for example, one of them is the one who, if you really keep forgiving him, he keeps doing even more wrong. And if you don't, and if you forgive him now here and ignore him, he's going to oppress somebody else. So with this intention that you stop him from oppressing someone else, you stop him here in the first step. So there are so many exceptions, but those exceptions are less. Why? Imam says, مَعَ كَثِيرٍ مِّنْ أَمْثَالِهِ. Many people deserve this. But some people, little people, they don't deserve your forgiveness. They deserve that you have to stop them right there. Who are they? This is hard to determine if you don't have taqwa, if you don't have fear of Allah. Because then anybody who even does very little wrong with you, you consider him as the biggest criminal. Why? Because he said this to me. So there is no end for that. Means you cannot consider anybody in the category of those people that Imam is talking about, that okay, if he does wrong, you just forgive him, ignore him. You say, no, how can I ignore him, her, this person, this group? I'm not going to ignore them. I'm not going to forgive them. So there will be nobody in the world, in my eyes, who will deserve my forgiveness if I don't have taqwa and piety and fear of God. So Imam says many people deserve it, some people don't. Now it is your challenge to really determine those situations and occasions where really you have to reply and answer. فإن الله يقول. Now Imam is giving the evidence for what he has said from Quran. And remember, we also recited so many ayat from Quran on this topic. And still there are many more ayat to discuss, but we need to conclude to move to next topic. So Imam is referring to this ayat. I'm going to read the whole ayat that Imam has referred to. وَلَمَنِ انْتَصَرَ بَعْدَ ظُلْمِهِ. Because Allah says that anybody who takes revenge after he was madhloom, بعد ظلمه, after somebody has oppressed him, somebody has wronged him, then now he has the chance to reply and answer. He has the right to do that. Ma alayhim min sabil, they have no blame. The people who reply and answer to wrong and to wrongdoers, they cannot be blamed. Which means what? Yes, they have the right. Islam is the religion of rights. Islam has no single rule or law which is just one way. It's all both ways, system in Islam. So, yes, if somebody wrongs you, he is a wrongdoer. He is someone who will get the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what you should do, this is a different thing. What he should do is a different thing. He should come and apologize. He should come and say sorry. He should come and acknowledge his wrong and try to make you happy. This is his responsibility. But what is your responsibility? To just forgive him even before he is asking for forgiveness. And after he asks for forgiveness, it is more, you have more responsibility of forgiving him. So there are rules and laws for both sides. So Quran says, وَلَمَنْ انْتَصَرَ, and this is from Surah Shura that Imam is referring. And last week and the week before, I also recited from the same surah the ayat before this ayat that Imam was referring to. So the person who is wronged, he has the right to reply the way he did it with him. And of course, keep in mind, since we are concluding everything, so in just few sentences, I'm going to conclude all our discussion. We'll try. So when you reply, you have the right to that. It's not wajib on you to reply. Rather, it is good and better for you to ignore. But you have the right still. Why? Because you were wronged. You can bring the case to a judge and the judge will decide. You don't decide. Anybody else any mediator, any judge will decide that really how you should reply. Why? Because if you reply by yourself and emotions control you, and you don't consider the justice, then he was the wrongdoer. After a while, you will become the wrongdoer and he will become the wronged one. You will become zalim, he will become madloom. In many cases, believe me, in many cases this happens. That the zalim becomes madloom and madloom becomes zalim. How? Because the madloom takes revenge more than what he's supposed to do. And this way for example, somebody has wronged me for something that I lost my $50. I wronged him for something that he, just as an example, loses $100. So I am 50% more zalim than him. So if you reply جزاء سيئة سيئة مثلها. The punishment for wrongdoing is exactly equal to the wrong, not more than the wrong. He said one thing to you, one word he used which was wrong against you, you used 2 words in the retaliation. You said, because he said this, I'm saying 2 times. So now you become zalim and he became madloom. Why? Because now you said 2 words and he said just 1 word. Look, so how hard is this to give the answer equally? إنما السبيل. Now Quran says that they are not blamed the people who really replying and taking their revenge and taking the right according to Islamic laws within those framework of Islamic regulations. إنما السبيل. The blame is on those people who إنما السبيل على الذين يظلمون الناس. The blame is on them who wrong people. So before you were oppressed, you were weak, then you got the power, and now you say, I'm going to take revenge. This happens in the world, right? Overall, you see the groups, the countries, the powers, the powerful, dynasties, all they do the same. When they are oppressed, when they are weak, they try to defend themselves. That's, striving for survival. But when they get the power, they said, kill everybody. Eliminate everyone. This is wrong. This is what Quran says. No. It's better to forgive. If you cannot forgive, at least the punishment should be equal to their wrong. And only the wrongdoer will get the punishment, not wrongdoers' children, or relatives, or the community members. Just because they belong to the same community, they also should be target of our retaliation. This is wrong. إنما السبيل, blame is on them who oppress people. ويبغون في الأرض فساد ويبغون في الأرض بغير الحق. And their action is against right, against truth, against حق. أولئك لهم عذاب أليم. They will get the punishment in the day of judgment. Allah is there. If yesterday you were weak, today you are strong, and you are doing worse than what that person has done who was powerful at that moment. Now you are doing it. But the most powerful is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. don't forget that whatever you're doing, Allah is watching, Allah is listening, Allah knows in whatever manner. You say, because he did this, because she did this, so I will do this. Okay, do it. But keep in mind that there is a check and balance. And there is somebody who is looking and watching everything, and he is going to show you with witnesses in the day of judgment. Not just say, okay, I am going to punish you. No, there will be witnesses in front of you. In the end of this ayat of Surah Al-Ma'idah, Surah Ash-Shura, Surah Shura is Surah number 43 and ayat number 42, ayat number 41 to 43, if you read them. Even before those ayat that we recited earlier. But this is the conclusion. وَلَمَنْ صَبَرَ وَغَفَرَ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. Even those people who get power. If they forgive those wrongdoers who were wronging them when they were weak, these people were weak and they were strong. Now you are strong, they are weak. You have the right to take the revenge, but what is better? وَلِمَنْ صَبَرَ وَغَفَرَ. The person who demonstrates patience, وَغَفَرَ, and forgives, إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. It is from strong determination of courage. This is courage. These people are courageous. They are not weak people who are not taking revenge. Don't think that, some people think that if I don't reply, my enemy will think I'm weak. No, you are strong if you don't reply. In the dhalik, and you cannot stop from replying. You cannot show patience unless you are strong. I said this earlier. Only the people who are powerful and strong, they can show patience. Sabr doesn't mean that you are weak, you cannot do anything. You are showing, oh, I'm showing patience. So no, helplessness is not patience. Strength is patience. Show your strength by forgiving, this is patience. So now the whole ayat, the time is over. Inshallah, we'll continue with our conclusion to our discussion. We'll read this from the passage that Imam has said. Look, he referred to this ayat. So the whole ayat, keep in mind the whole ayat, and now see, is there any example in the history for that? Yes. Even today you see examples, both examples, wrong and right. Wrong example, for example, you see today, these terrorists, whenever they go, they just keep killing people. Why? Just because these people belong to certain communities or a certain ideology. Before they were weak, now they conquered an area and they just يبغون في الأرض فسادا. They do the fasad, they do the mischief, killing, terrorism, and everything. But see, how can somebody after power, gaining power, can show patience? Because after power, when you are weak, you can show your patience. As I said, although it is not real patience. It is not real patience. Patience is when you are powerful. But when you are powerful, who shows patience? How can somebody show patience while powerful? Yes. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam he gained the absolute power in Mecca. He entered Mecca, he conquered Mecca absolutely with full power, no resistance. And All his arch enemies were there. Those who gave him hard time for years and years and years, who fought against him, who killed his relatives, his companions, and they did any wrong they could. And now they are under his control. Among them, their leader, Abu Sufyan. What the Prophet did? Did he kill a single person? No. Rather, he announced a general, amnesty. He said, everybody is in peace. In peace. Total peace. No one was even harmed little bit. Not even verbally. Not even verbally. Leave alone physically. This was the akhlaq, and this was the dealing of the Prophet with those people who were his enemies, and who were really wrongdoers, and who were really oppressors, and they deserved every kind of punishment. But the Prophet forgave them. Why? Because of the power. And in the conclusion, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says, that the thanking and gratitude of power that you gain over somebody is that you forgive him. When you forgive someone, this is the thanking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the power that you are in such a position that your enemy is now weak, you are strong, just forgive him. Why forgive him? Because Allah gave you this power now. Who gave you? So this is way of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever power He has given you over your enemies. So forgiving is always better. Even if the person is a really wrongdoer and he did it purposely, Imam says, it's fine, forgive him. And then he quoted this ayat of Quran. So we read half passage of this, right of the one who wrongs you. Inshallah, next week we'll read the next half. Salawatu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.